I'm Tracy Markley, and I'm bringing you another video to help you out. Stroke survivors have reached out to me. I've had many private messages on Facebook and phone calls from survivors that have seen me on Facebook, read my books, or somehow has had a connection to me and my work. So one of the questions I've been getting a lot of the last couple of weeks is about the hands and the movement of the fingers and getting the movement back or the speed back, and helping it open back up again from the spasticity, and also the arms. If you watch my other videos on this YouTube channel, you'll see that I talk a lot about muscles and posture and the core muscles, and I will go over just a brief of it right now, but see my other videos, because this structure in the body, this structure needs to be strong to hold your body up. So if this is weak and you're here, it's going to be hard to hold the structure up, as well as it's going to keep your head in front of your hips, which makes you more prone to fall over with your balance. So, but watch other videos, you'll learn more. One of the things I want to share, which is also most of it's in other videos, but if you can see here, right around this area right in here, you got your cervical vertebrae, your thoracic vertebrae, and your lumbar vertebrae. There's 7 cervical, 12 thoracic, and 5 lumbar. If you want to remember it, you eat breakfast at 7, lunch at 12, dinner at 5. That's how I remembered it in school. Anyway, but what I wanted to point out today is about around C7, that's where the nerves come into the arm and the hands. So when we go back to posture now, if you're hunched over here, you're putting a lot of pressure in this area that can possibly stop or slow down connecting to the nerves, activating properly in the hands again after a stroke, the communication. So it's like if you've heard people talk about having sciatica pain, the sciatica nerves comes between the 4th and 5th lumbar vertebrae down in here, which is about in here, and that's the nerves that come down. They help move your legs. Most of us hear about the sciatica nerve because people have pain, but if people have bad posture, hanging off their spine, or they've been really tight in here from sitting for so long, it will put pressure on those vertebrae that affect that nerve. So think of that same thing when you're trying to get new pathways to your hands and arms to get that spasticity out, or movement, or getting speed back. If your posture is bad and your head's hanging forward, it's gonna work against you. So posture, get your core engaged, get your core activated and strong. Your core is deep, these deep muscles in here, which I have videos about this, deep muscles in here, and then also your glutes. So this is the back of it though. So this area of your body is your core. All these muscles help you walk, help you move, help you function. So here's the glute muscles. That's the back end, looking like where your spine ends. Here's your sacrum. After the lumbar vertebrae, you have the sacrum, the sacroiliac joint, and your glute muscles. And under there, you have the piriformis and some of the rotating muscles that help rotate your leg out and in. So just remember these while you're doing your exercises. So when you're working on getting your hands and movement back, keep this engaged. Imagine you're putting a tight girdle. This is nice and strong, and you're keeping this strong so you're upright as you work on your hands. Now, a few more tips with the hands. And I shared this a little bit in the video previously too. Normally, you're going to have one hand that still works like it used to, and the other one's not communicating a movement like you want. I have my clients really focus on the hand that's moving in the moment, sitting up tall, keeping those abs engaged, and work on looking at that hand, opening and closing, just trying to connect to it, feel what it feels like to move. Try not to clench it so much because it already is wanting to clench. You want it to open more. So work on opening it, spreading those fingers, close your eyes, feel yourself connecting to it, visualize in your mind the hand opening and really connect to it, and then turn around and do it on the other side. Try to see that hand going the way you want it to go. I like, if you can, have your hand to your side and do it. Look at it, visualize it, to get yourself back in upright position. If you're sitting on a ball, like one of these Swiss balls, exercise balls, if you're able to, you want to sit up tall, tighten your abs, and you can work on it. When you're using unstable surfaces, you're stimulating the central nervous system, which is the brain and the spinal column. And you want that stimulated to help the brain get the pathways back more. So work on your hands, if possible, sitting on a ball. If you need to hold on to something, be by something with your other side, but try not to be like this. Try to be up. Feel your abs engaged so you're activating things. If you're able to, get a balance pad. Not just foam off a cushion of the couch or something, an actual balance pad. This one's about 20 bucks on Amazon. This one's about 15. There's therapy pads. This one's called a pause. It's really good to stand on. So if you're unable to stand on BOSU balls or balance discs, get these pads. They're great starters and they work with you. So I'll start with this one first. Standing on this, putting your feet on there evenly. I don't know if you can see my feet on here. Stand on her evenly so your feet are placed evenly front, side to side through the platform you're on. The hand, you're trying to get movement back. If you need to hold on to something, hold on with the hand that still has the good strength in it and work on your hand here. So when you're balancing, abs are in and you're trying to stimulate those hands as you're stimulating the brain and the spinal column and trying to get those nerves activated. If you've watched my other videos, and if you know things about certain parts of the body, the multifidus muscle, this deep spine muscle right here, this is the main stabilizer of the spine. Your brain sends a message to this muscle to stabilize, to start stabilizing the body before it goes to the limbs for movement. So if the path of the body and function goes brain, center, stabilize, go to your hands, the more you can balance and activate your center as you're trying to go to your hands movements, it's going to help. Because think of it this way, the map, boom, boom, boom. If you skip this, it's just kind of go, and it's going to be harder to go to here. So remember that. You can stand on these balance pads and you can face a bar if you're near a bar, a chair, something that you can hold on to for balance. Practice balancing, practice standing, abs in. If you need to hold on with one hand, hold on just light enough where you can still kind of feel the unstable surface. So you have to balance and hold in. Stay close to here. If you can do it without it, that's great too. Everybody's going to be different levels. If you need to hold on, you can do your hands here. Visualize this hand. You can use the other pad. They're pretty much the same. It depends on your, bigger people. You might want the bigger pad. You can have a wider stance because remember when you're trying to stand, if your feet are really close together, you're more in a pivot. You go a little more hip width apart. You get a little more stability. So work on your hands on here. Open your eyes, close your eyes, tighten these muscles. Act like you're putting a tight pair of jeans. So when you're standing on here, these deep muscles will want to, they're going to help you when you're trying to go all over. Your brain's going to be sending messages to these muscles to activate. You're trying to balance as well as it's telling your feet, which way to keep your feet focused. So my tip is, if you can balance or sit on a ball, if you can't yet, get there when you can, because everybody's at different levels after their stroke and have different challenges when they first come out or even down the line. If you can balance, practice balancing first. Tighten your tummy. If your arms are able to, do these really slow with your abs engaged. Hold on if you need to. Do this maybe 3 to 4 minutes, 2 minutes, whatever works for you. Balance your hands to your side. Hold on if you need to. Keep activating this and make sure you're training that core to hold you upright. This has to be strong enough to hold your shoulders in place. Make sure your shoulders are down. You're not up like this all the time. Because when you lift up those shoulders, you're throwing all this out, and you're just putting more unnecessary pressure and dynamics around the area where you're trying to activate those nerves to get down to your arms. So those are my tips with helping that hand come back, and working with speed and movement, and just every day if you can, focus on these. If you're able to use a BOSU ball, there's 2 different sizes. This one is more like a child-sized BOSU ball, but the adults are using them a lot now. BOSU ball is a half circle if you haven't seen it. A little harder, they're harder than the balance pad. It challenges you a little more. So if you stand on here, feet evenly placed on there, tighten that tummy, you work on your balance. Keep this strong, keep your shoulders in place. If you need to be this way, you can hold on with the hand that helps you balance. Keep it close. You can work on your hand here. It's going to stimulate it more on something like this than the pad. Work on that hand, tighten that tummy, shoulders, watch your posture. Imagine you're putting on that girdle and you're zipping your posture up, and you're working on your hands. I have a story of a gentleman who is 89, stroke survivor, 2 years post-stroke. I met him when he was 2 years post-stroke. And we were working on his hand. He wasn't able to stand on these things at first. So he would sit on a bench, and we'd work on his hands, watching his hand move with his hand that works well, focusing on the other one. And we can get it to move just a tiny little bit. But when I was able to get him on a balance disc or a BOSU ball, what happened is we would do the same thing, except we'd be standing up, everything I just told you, but his hand would open up further as he's on a balance disc or the BOSU ball. The 7th time he worked on it, when he got off what it opened up to, it stayed. So he'd open it up further, then he was done, it would kind of go back. It would go back. But the 7th time, the further distance he was getting in movement, when he got off, it stayed. So be patient with it. You may not see it right away, but keep doing it daily if possible. And you should see things coming, but really connect to here. So remember, if your brain sends a message to the center of your body to stabilize before the limbs start moving, it's a natural way the body functions, because you need to stabilize for movement. Focus, stand tall, good posture, tighten your tummy, go to here. Retrain the brain to make those paths. Connect this. Any exercise you're doing, if you're doing therapy, if they're working on shoulder things or things with you, tighten your tummy if people around you aren't telling you to, and stand up. If you can't sit in anything yet or stand in anything, have something to hold you. If you have a pole or something with you, and practice standing with your abs in. Connect your brain to your abs and your core and your balancing system again. This also will help you with walking and balance and getting your awareness back, because when you're balancing on these things, you're doing this, but you're trying to keep this tight to control it. And you're reconnecting and retraining that ability to come back. So I hope that helped. And again, I'm Tracy from Tracy's Personal Training. And some of you already know me. I've written 3 books. My latest book I wrote mainly to help you guys. So my first book is The Stroke of an Artist, The Journey of a Fitness Trainer and Stroke Survivor. It's the journey of a gentleman who was an artist who had a stroke. He worked with me almost daily, 5 to 6 days a week, and he's a perfect example of how moving every day can help bring things back, because your body needs to move. But you also have to do the right things in the right way and connect to what's happening so you know what you can do next. The second book is Tipping Towards Balance, a fitness trainer's guide to stability and walking. And a lot of the exercise the gentleman did in the first book, they're in there. There's 8 exercises that talks about, both the books talk about get your spatial awareness back, stepping, know when your feet are going in space so your walking gets walking gait gets better again. And the third book is called Stroke Recovery, What Now? When Physical Therapy Ends, but your journey, your recovery continues. And I wrote this after I was asked to write a stroke recovery and exercise continue education course for the fitness industry. And I was really honored to do that because I've been trying to educate people. So that was like a good end to get the education out there so fitness professionals can help you guys when therapy ends, or if you've had bad therapy or whatever direction you came. There's all these different dynamics people are going through. I asked in some of these stroke survivor groups what questions or what troubles, actually not what questions, I asked what challenges have some of you faced when your therapy is ended and you try to continue recovery. And I had these answers that were, some had good answers, but 90% of them were the trainers don't know what they're doing. They don't know muscles. We don't know what to ask when we go to the gym. We don't know what to look for. They only train the side that's affected by the stroke. They treat us irrelevant. And some people shared some really sad stories. So after I finished the course, and it's up online for the professionals now, I thought, well, the only people who's going to have this education now are people that reached out and looked for it. So I thought, let's take this course and convert it into a book. I changed some things around, took some chapters out, but some chapters in for survivors and their caregivers and families to help you guys have knowledge of the muscles, the spine, the movement, the nerves, the fascia, and what exercises to do, and kind of maybe what order. It's really hard to put what order you put stroke survivor exercises in because everybody's different. And for example, if your hand starts coming back, then you'll go this direction. You kind of have to follow what your brain's bringing back. So anyway, so I put that book out and I tried to cover everything that was shared with me of the struggles you guys faced. And there's a chapter, each of the books has a chapter on muscles and nerves and just understanding the body. And they have these diagrams that always show them in videos. There's a chapter with all these in there to help you guys have visuals and make sense. Because if you understand why you're doing something, it will make sense how that's going to help a part of your movement and body dynamics come back after a stroke. Or even if you don't have a stroke, whatever your body's going through. But if you know why you're doing something, instead of someone just saying, here's a piece of paper, do all this, it's going to be harder to do it. If it makes sense, then it will make sense what you do next. If it makes sense and you understand the body, you or your caregivers or family, whoever's with you, if you have someone, I know some people don't, it will be easier for you to connect with a fitness professional that understands the body. You'll be able to know instantly they don't know what they're doing. Or, ooh, they know what they're doing. Because there are professionals out there that have a bundle of education and just search things out like I have. And there's ones that just do a one-day certification and they YouTube stuff and they just kind of wing it. And in my world, if we limit our education and knowledge, we limit what recovery we can help our survivors with. So that's why the third book is out. And hopefully that will help you guys. And they're all on my website. They're on Amazon. My website, I'll give you the author website. It's www.tracymarkley.com, TracyMarkley.com. My name's on the video of the YouTube channel name. And you can find me on the internet really easy. So I hope this has helped. And hold on one second, and I will show you real quick. This is the second book, Tipping Towards Balance. That's me and my dog walking. I had clients come to me saying they're tripping over roots when they walk, and this is just showing us walking in the roots and help you how you can get your awareness of your feet back in space again so you can stop tripping and falling. The first book, Stroke of an Artist. This is me and my client. He was in a walker when I met him. First he was told he'd never get out of a wheelchair. Then he told he'd never get out of a walker. And by the end of us working together, he's walking across BOSU balls, doing ball squats, and doing really well. He really wanted his story shared to help people because he noticed that other professionals are getting educated and he really wanted people to have help and get better like he did. And then this is the third book I made, and my screen just stopped. It's the third book. I think it's showing backwards on the screen. But Stroke Recovery, What Now? When physical therapy ends, but your recovery continues. All the books have the muscle chapters in there to help you. A little bit about the brain. I hope this book helps. I was so sad for the stories that I heard from survivors that they struggle with. It just really upset me. And then my first book came out when I was getting ready to publish. I sat down one day and I just cried because I thought, if this gentleman would have been with the other trainer who was in the place I was working at who holds no certifications, why, I don't know why, no certifications at all, he would have been limited for the rest of his life. And he would have always thought he was limited because he had a stroke. He wouldn't have understood he was limited because the knowledge of the person he went to couldn't take him to a level that he needed. So that's why I push the education as much as I can in the industry if people reach out for it. And if I can get survivors or the caregivers or whoever's helping them, hopefully you have people. Again, I know some people don't. I have 2 survivors right now in walkers that they live alone and they have to taxi to me, and I just feel really bad for them. But that happens out there. So the books are short. They're written in big letters. The first book is on audio because I know sometimes survivors can't read well after their stroke or maintain it for very long. So, but not everyone has that. So I'm hoping these help. Again, Tracy Markley, Tracy Markley. Remember, engage this. Get this activated. There's tons of muscles in here. They help you walk. They help you. You have a muscle in here that helps you lift your legs, which you need for walking. You have the glute muscles I showed you. They help this part of walking, bringing your leg back. They help stabilize your hips. They help stabilize your rib cage, which your rib cage helps hold you up and get your shoulders stable. So remember, don't have your shoulders in your ears. Keep them down. Keep your abs pulled in. Stand up tall whenever you can and go to here. Imagine you're putting on a tight pair of jeans. You're zipping up a zipper like you're putting on a girdle, and retrain the brain to connect here as you're getting these stronger. And any exercise you're doing, if possible. Sit on a big Swiss ball, the big ball I was sitting on, if possible. If you need to sit on a ball and be by a bar or a chair that's something stable, use that. Safety first. Use the pads or a BOSU ball. There's the small one and there's a bigger one back there. Check out my other videos on this YouTube channel, and don't give up. Keep pushing through and have a great day.